I'm ready to spit some facts tonight. We got the microphone moving. We're ready to roll whatever we got to do, wherever we got to go. I just got done teaching tonight. The adrenaline is there. Here we go. Here we go, folks. I had an energy drink. I wanted to talk about two things I don't think many traders or educators or influencers talk about that play such a huge role in trading. The first thing is the importance of developing a relationship with the instrument that you're trading. Let that sink in for a minute. Developing a relationship with the instrument that you're trading. What does that mean to you? What does developing a relationship with a chart mean? Well, first of all, let's think of it like dating, like a literal relationship. So if I want to start trading platinum or I want to start dating platinum, I need to get to know platinum. I need to just watch it for a little while. Let's just get ourselves familiar with the movement of platinum. Let's watch platinum for a little while. And that results in just truly watching the movement of platinum every day. As many days as you possibly can. Let's just watch. Let's start to get to know it. Let's see what the movement looks like. Does it move X amount of ticks in a day? Is it massive moves? Does it respect trend lines? When is there volume? When is there no volume? You truly understand that by watching it. And I don't mean by watching it a few days. You need to get the chart timing. You need to truly sit back and watch platinum. Now that is just us kind of eyeballing if we even want to get into a relationship. Do we even want to start dating platinum? Let's just sit back and watch it first. Let's look at the movement. Let's get an idea for how much it moves, when it doesn't move, when is it kind of consolidating, when does it break out of these moves. Just watch it. Just watch it for a little while. Like, come on, guys. Now, another thing is, if we're thinking of this, in relationship-wise, the end goal is to get married. Maybe for some of you guys, I don't know, maybe not. But let's just say the end goal is to get married, to find that one partner. Well, we do have to watch a few instruments. How do we know which one is the right one? We got to at least watch a few. Let's make this realistic. Let's make this tangible. We're not looking at 20 instruments. How could you possibly get to know an instrument by looking at 20 at a time? There's no freaking way. Could you really go on 20 dates with 20 different people at a time? If you can, I don't believe you. How can you truly know with 20 different instruments? That's a massive amount of instruments to watch consecutively, enough to be able to get to know or to get a feel for or to know the amount of ticks or pips or cents that it moves in a day, or what's normal, what's not normal. What does it do when there is a lot of volume, when there's not a lot of volume? At what times does it get volume? How can you do that? Or how can you get comfortable with something if you're watching so many? So I think if we can maybe make that watch list a little smaller, a little shorter. Let's not watch so many. Let's say that you guys take my advice and you're like, you know what, Tori, I think I can do 5. I think out of 5 options, I can find my partner. I can find the one. Maybe it's not a soulmate. We can make it work. To be honest, if you guys watch any videos from Jordan Peterson, his views on soulmates versus just the ability to truly make things work with another human being is possible. It is a matter of just resolving conflict, getting to know the person, understanding their triggers. You can totally have an incredible relationship with someone that isn't quote unquote your soulmate, but it's just your partner that you have made it work with and that you got to know long enough. All right. Bringing it back to the stock market, to the markets in general. Maybe it is gold, platinum, crude oil, corn, the ES, which is this guy. Look what it did today. Oh my God. So we're watching 5 instruments. Let's get our chart time in. I'm not talking a week. I'm not talking 2 weeks. You need to get some time in, maybe even months. I know that's not fun to hear. Watch these for a few months until you figure out, you know what, whatever strategy you trade, these are the few. Now let's start to narrow it down even more. Let's say that corn, based on your strategy, it doesn't have enough volatility. There's not enough volume. It doesn't really do much of anything. And then when it does, it's just like random and sporadic. It's hard to capitalize on profits. Or it's hard to apply my strategy to corn. So, okay, we can kick corn to the curb. Now we're moving on. Now we've just got gold, platinum, oil, and the ES. Now let's take a little bit more time watching these. And then out of those, let's make it even smaller. Now let's try to start to narrow down our watch list. And if we can make it to just one, I think that's going to help you be successful in the long run. To be honest, yes, you can continue to watch multiple instruments, which I do. But right now I am trading for the most part one instrument, and that's platinum. And I've married platinum now. We're in a relationship. I've committed. It's the one. But I still watch oil. I still watch the ES. The point here is just you got to develop a relationship with the instrument. You got to get to know it. And so much so that you can say, okay, you know what? Based on my strategy, it works best with these few instruments. So Mine is crude oil, platinum. I don't trade the ES much. I don't trade the NQ much. And I don't trade gold much. There are times where I will, but for the most part, it has been crude oil and platinum. It works. They resonate with me. I've put in the chart time. We have been in a long-term relationship, both of them. But I have just watched them enough that I get a feel for it. And then this is the second point that I want to make is intuition. Intuition. People don't talk about intuition. It actually plays a role in your trading. It's not something you can teach. So maybe that's why it's not talked about much. It's not something that you can have replicated. You can't, have somebody sign up for a course and teach them intuition. So maybe that's why it's not talked about or it's not taught. It's not, many people don't talk about how much of a role it plays in your trading, but it absolutely does. But where it comes into play is the relationship that you have with the instrument that you've traded or that you have been watching for so long. So now I have been watching crude oil and platinum for years now. You guys need to be watching it for minimum at least months. Don't tell me that you have been watching something for a few weeks or even back tested for a few weeks and said, okay, this is the one. No, I need you to watch real-time price movement day after day after day for months. And then you come back and tell me, okay, I have developed a relationship with this instrument now. Then I will believe you. I have watched platinum and crude oil for years. And this is where intuition comes into play, which is being pickier about your trades, about your entries, when you become more reserved, when you go heavier in positions, or knowing when to pass up on a move. These are the things that come into play with intuition. So platinum, I have watched for so long, it has shown me how much it respects trend lines. Oh my gosh, does it respect trend lines? I'm not talking 3 touch points. I'm not talking 4 touch points. I'm talking like 5 touch points on the regular on trend lines. And then when it breaks a trend, it continues. It will retrace. It will go in the opposite direction, and then it is easily tracked by yet another trend line in the opposite direction. When I get a signal in platinum, I feel very confident about it. I am more inclined to go heavier in positions in platinum. I am more inclined to take entries earlier in platinum than I would in crude oil. Crude oil has shown me that we get a lot of fake outs. Very often will it break a trend line, retrace, and then go in the other direction. So when I get into trades in crude oil, I'm a little bit more reserved. I am a little bit later to entries. I want to be really convinced if I'm getting into a trade in crude oil because of intuition, because I have watched it for so long and I know, yes, we've got a break of a trend line, but the odds of this being a fake out are probably pretty high. So why don't we go ahead and put some things in place to help us get into our position? Maybe just some checklist items, maybe something to give us just some added confirmation so that we can truly be convinced in this position. Let's say, for example, you're trading a 5-minute time frame on crude oil and we get a lot of fake outs. What is something that we can put into place to help us give us some confidence and confirmation in the signal that we're getting? We're breaking out of a trend line on a 5-minute time frame. What can we do? First things first, we could wait for the candle to close. It could be as simple as that. If the candle closes on the other side of the trend line, okay, I'm feeling good. Let's take this position. But maybe we're still skeptical and we're coming in light in our position size. Or maybe we are even more hesitant. We are even more reserved. We need more confirmation. It could be a retest. Let's wait for the retest of the trend line. Now, you may not get very many signals if you're waiting for the retest. You might not be able to take many opportunities because maybe you don't get as many retests in oil. But maybe when oil does retest a trend line, you know that this probability or the odds of this being a fake out are a lot less, and you can get into that position. These are some things that come along with building intuition and knowing an instrument very well. I don't wait for the retest on platinum. To be honest, watching platinum for so long, I don't know how many retests we actually get in platinum. But in crude oil, I know that we do get a few retests. And when we do, I feel a lot better about the position instead of getting in upon break. I trade the 4 hours, so I get in upon break. But let's say for lower time frames, maybe waiting for the candle close could be all the confirmation I need for a break in platinum. Maybe when it comes to crude oil, I'm a little bit more reserved. This goes along with like developing a relationship with a human being. If you can tell that your partner is a little bit off today, maybe they are a little quieter than usual. You know the signs before they even say anything, before the words come out of their mouth. You can tell the signs because you know that person so well. You already know, you know what? Tori got home from whatever she's doing today. I was going to say from work, but she doesn't work. Tori got home from work today. She's a little bit quiet. She's sitting on the couch watching TV, hasn't said a word. I'm going to go make her a coffee. It could be any time of the day. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll make her a coffee. She's usually pretty happy. I already can tell, I can read the signs. I'm getting her a coffee. Boom. She's happy. She didn't have to say anything. I already knew because I've been in a relationship with Tori for so long that I can already read the signs. And the only way that you know that about someone is being with them for so long. Knowing what makes them tick. Knowing their triggers. That plays such a huge role in trading. I promise you. And that's knowing the movement of platinum or the movement of crude oil. Knowing that this is a very extended move. It doesn't usually move this many ticks in a day. I'm going to go ahead and take my profit here because that's a massive move that's extended, that's not average. I'm going to go ahead and take that profit. But maybe that same move happens in crude oil and you're like, no, it's moved 4 times that amount in a day on a regular basis. I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to let it ride. That comes into play with your trading, so much so. And I don't know if many traders talk about, developing a relationship with the instruments that you're trading and the role that intuition plays, taking profits and taking entries and knowing when to go lighter or heavier in a position size. And maybe that's why my strategy is so freaking weird, or people can't really understand it, is because it's not an A plus B equals C every time. And I understand that maybe that's hard for some people to grasp. Like, they need the formula. They need this is my set RR every time I get into a trade, or this is my set position size every time I get into a trade, or this is my set this or that or this or that, A plus B equals C every time. But I understand that the markets are incredibly dynamic, like a human being. Maybe I'm going too deep. Maybe I should back off. I don't know. This is how I feel about trading. I truly feel like the instruments that we're trading here are like people. You got to get to know them. They have personalities. You've got to get to know them, and you've got to understand what makes them tick, what makes them move, how much do they move, when do they not move, when do they move, when do you go heavier in a position, when do you not, when do you take your profit, when do you let it ride. And I think so much of that comes into play with just developing a relationship. Get to know somebody. Get to know the instrument you're trading. Put in the chart time. I'm going to say it's so much easier said than done, because I guarantee you it's going to take months, and people don't want to commit that much time. Months? I mean, to be honest, you guys, I've been trading for 9 years. I still have a long way to go in my trading. I'm only making $100,000 a year out of trading. I need to be making so much more. This year, I'm going to try to double it. I'm already up 50, 60, 70, 80. Damn, that's so fucking cool. But working on holding those profits longer. Just hold a little bit longer. Increasing that position size, but doing it gradually enough to know that, okay, when it does start going against you, you know exactly, you've got fire extinguisher. If you guys have taken any of my pre-recorded courses or any of my accelerators, you guys know what that analogy means, but you just have things set in place for when price goes against you, you know what to do. We got an alert. Hold on platinum. Ooh, okay. Ooh, I closed this platinum trade. Hold on, come with me. Get over here. Wow. I closed this trade right over here. I was in a long position from back here to up here. Now we are thinking short positions. We may get a retest of this line here, but to be honest, it looks like it's breaking through. We are thinking short positions in platinum. But I hope that made sense to you guys. Understanding that developing a relationship with the instrument you're trading plays a huge role in your trading. Maybe I'm a weirdo. Maybe I have too much of a holistic approach when it comes to trading. And maybe that's okay, but I've gotten this success from trading by thinking that way. I've been doing this for 9 years. This is the conclusion I've come to. Knowing that you do have to develop a relationship and that intuition does play a role in trading. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with anything I'm saying or everything I'm saying. But I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, do so. We got some serious knowledge being dropped here. Maybe it's knowledge or information that you don't normally hear from traders or from influencers or from educators, but this is my true, genuine, honest approach to trading, and it's worked for me. And what's cool is I'm an influencer, a trader that has the receipts and the statements to back up my trading and my profitability and my consistency. And it's cool to see, okay, you know what? She can back up her trades, she can back up her consistency, her profitability, and she's got the knowledge here to back it up as well. I feel more qualified to share my mind or to share my ideas or my approach to trading because I do have these things to back it up. That's all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, drop a comment if you agree with everything or if you disagree with everything, or maybe some things. What do you agree with and what do you disagree with? That's all I have today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you in the next video.